I listed all the materials I used in the description part so that you can draw with me. We are drawing with charcoal, so make sure you have some wet towels and paper towels ready because your hands are gonna get dirty. I started with the left eye. Their eyeballs are bigger, but the reflections are the same as human eyes. Inside the white of the eye, I used the blending stump to give the light gray shadows. You may ask why I chose medium charcoal over hard or soft charcoal. I will show you in a bit, but if you want to watch my video about charcoal pencils and their differences from graphite ones, I am putting it in the upper right corner for you. Here is the difference. When you blend soft charcoal, it creates so much dust and it blends the dust all over the place, whereas the tooth keeps the least amount of charcoal. With medium one though, you have still a nice smear and a good amount of dust in the tooth of the paper. The hard one has the least amount of dust and they are hard to blend. Because I wanted to blend easily and keep my shadows dark, I chose medium charcoal. Let's continue drawing our dog. The left side of this cute puppy was in the shadow mostly, so it was hard to see the details. Don't forget, we put only the details that are visible to us. I used a charcoal block to define the edges of this background here, which helped me a lot to define my borders. Here I'm dipping my number 8 brush and applying that excessive charcoal from the charcoal block into the areas that will be quite dark in the end. I do this to keep my work area clean, to be honest. In the ear, for the lighter areas, I use my Tombow eraser pencil, or you call it eraser stick. I started adding the fur from the left because, as I said before, it is so easy to smudge charcoal even though we use medium instead of soft. For realistic animal fur, you will need to keep your pencil extra sharp. Also, we only have our charcoal, not many different kinds of graphite pencils, so with just one dark black tone, we need to create different tones. In order to do that, we depend on our eraser stick a lot, and also we keep changing the density of our pencil strokes. Another important thing to consider is layering. We need to do more than 2 layers, at least 3 layers to get a realistic result. What do I mean by layering? I mean this: drawing, erasing, blending, and repeat. This is a cycle. You will notice that in each layer I blend with a brush, not a napkin or blending stump. The reason is that a blending stump will create lines instead of creating a nice layer of blended tones. A brush will keep the dark lines dark and fill in between the lines with a varying tones of gray. And a napkin will blend everything in one shade and tone down the black lines, which I don't want. So I am on the second layer. As you can see, I tried to add more frequent and dense layers of fur in the darker areas and less fur in the brighter ones. The second eye had less details than the first one, and I used again blending stump to blend the eyeball. The ear on the right doesn't have any detail on it either due to the blur effect of the photo. What we see in the reference photo is a combination of different tones of gray, but because they blend in each other so smoothly, we want to create the blurred look as well. I think blending them with a paintbrush is the best option here. A trick for you: if you hold your brush perpendicular to your paper and just hit the paper with gentle strokes, you get darker results as you get more charcoal dust in the tooth. Following the direction of the fur is the key in realistic dog drawing. The hair grows in different directions in different parts of the face. You can see now in the photo as well. We need to follow these directions with our pencil strokes to get a realistic effect. Here, I really benefited a lot from having a good initial sketch that showed me where I should add more shadows and where I should keep it bright. Especially because charcoal is hard to erase, and if you put too much charcoal, it might be hard to erase it later. You see now in this step we are following the direction of the fur, putting sometimes short, sometimes long hair. We decide the length of the fur by looking at the reference photo, of course. The hair on the nose is much shorter than the cheeks, for example. There are really dark shadows under its jaw, so don't forget to add those. Dog's nose has different elements than human nose. It is much bigger and the shape of it is rather cubical. Here again, the reference photo is our best friend. Whatever it tells us, we are doing it. Adding the darkest shadows first, and then adding the midtones, and finally highlights. Try to blend it with blending stump since you are working in a more restricted area. The dots in the dog's muzzle where the whiskers are coming from are quite black and they are on a white background, so I will do the whiskers last. First, I need to create the base layer and the background. For the background, we get a soft charcoal block or a soft charcoal pencil, and by applying pressure on the paper, we try to get as much charcoal as possible in the tooth of the paper. Then, using our finger, we blend them nicely. Be extra careful around the dog's face though, as we don't want to ruin what we just drew. Don't forget to clean your hands after you blend this. Trust me, otherwise it's gonna get everywhere. Time to add more details to our drawing. Now it's time to do the neck area. It is one of the brightest areas in the portrait. On the left part of the portrait is quite dark, so we will try to have a nice natural transition from this brightest part to the darkest part. Those darkest areas on the neck are the same tone as the background, so I will use my charcoal block there as well. For the neck area, I will keep applying layers until I get a natural look. In order for us to enter the whiskers, we also need to create the leash and clothing detail of the dog. Although the pattern is not very obvious, the transition from darker to lighter gray tones is visible, so we add the darkest tones with soft charcoal or a charcoal block first, then add midtones with the help of our paintbrush. For the highlights, of course, we use mostly the eraser stick or our kneaded eraser. For lighter shade of gray, we prefer blending with a tissue, but for the darkest area, again, finger blending gives the best result. With the paintbrush, we can give the shadows a much darker look. And although our dog looks like finished, we still have multiple layering to do, and of course the whiskers. One thing to keep in mind, with animal portraits, sometimes we don't know where to stop. We keep adding fur details more and more, so it has the risk of overdoing it. So make sure to assess your drawing as you go and stop somewhere before you ruin your drawing. For the whiskers, we don't have to use our pencil at all, we just create them with our eraser pencil. following the directions and locations in the reference photo, of course. As a final step, don't forget to go in and add the darkest shadows and highlight the brightest parts even more. Including this video, all my narrated real-time tutorials are available on my Patreon, patreon.com/Ece Gurler. My tutorials include watercolor, colored pencils, and even pastel drawings. If you want to stay in touch, don't forget to subscribe. See you in my next video. Thanks a lot for watching this video. If you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe and visit my website ecegurler.com. Stay with art and love.